right, man. Sad days this week.
So,
this month.
sad days, sad days.
Not even going anywhere with that. Hey, but you know something, man? We had a lot of death this month. Yeah. And now we say that who do we count? We count like 4 people, but it's really 5 if you want to go back far enough.
Yeah.
If you
I mean, David Carradine wasn't that long ago.
No, he was not. No, David Carradine. Of course, we're talking about David Carradine, Farrah Fawcett,
Ed McMahon,
Billy Mays, and the
King of Pop.
Who was the
King
other
of
one?
Pop, Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Listen,
Man, don't even start.
Yeah, here we
I'm
go.
just kidding. Come on.
Come on. It's not. Don't kid.
He was the only vaguely relevant one out of all of them. That's
I
all
love
I'm
it
saying.
that the day Michael Jackson died, he's on his phone like, look at these Michael Jackson jokes, guys. Go, look at this. It's like, we're like, man,
Well, it's not my fault you
Yeah,
kept
man.
texting them to me.
Yeah, because we're all about the serious here.
Yeah.
Still.
Hey man, he brought up the whole sad story.
He is gonna he's gonna put like a funeral dirge on the background when he.
Oh no, I did hear one funny joke.
Okay, see, look at this. I mean, if you die, you do not want us to be at your funeral. But we all respect, I mean, all these people. I mean, we're actually sitting up here cracking funnies and whatnot. But I was saying the other day, like Michael Jackson, I couldn't believe that. When they said that, I mean, whoever would have thought Michael Jackson would die this soon?
Of all the things that I thought that might happen with him, this was one I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first heard the story on the internet, I was like, bullshit. I didn't even give it a second thought when I first saw people about it. I was like, there's no way Michael Jackson just died.
Well, I was checking the internet, and it said that paramedics, he had a heart attack, and the paramedics, when they found him, he wasn't breathing. And I was like, oh, they got him. I was like, wait a minute, if he wasn't breathing when they found him, oh shit, I know this is gonna go. This is gonna be bad. And the only people reporting he died were TMZ.
TMZ.
And everybody was like, man, fuck TMZ. And I just hate that this.
Continue.
I just hate that it legitimized TMZ because they're a bunch of cocksuckers.
Well, they are, but the problem is that they're cocksuckers who are almost never wrong. I mean, they do a lot of crazy stuff, but when they report on a big story, they've pretty much got it.
Yeah, they're usually right.
Oh
Unfortunately.
no, I know, but it's because they're vultures. They're constantly hanging around, circling in people's business. You know, it's that whole like, hey man, look, there's a shot of Lindsay Lohan's exposing her panties. It's like, yeah, because you shoved the camera under her dress.
Yeah, no, but hey, man, you know something? I got to say, they were right on point with that. I refreshed Google for about a good half hour.
Same here.
And no one had anything except TMZ.
Arguably, they were the only news, and I use that in quotes, outlet that actually had someone on the scene waiting for something crazy to happen at the Jackson estate.
Yeah, who actually hired someone to watch the Jackson estate.
That they always have people hanging out at certain places to get crazy photos, and MJ always is big news. So the minute something was there, they had someone there taking photos of them bringing them out.
Yeah,
right. Which I think is sick. I mean, you know, when there's actual some news stories out there, you know, you got guys who they're dedicated, just hanging around somebody famous, just waiting for them to do something.
Interesting story, though. L.A. Times has written a piece about a big op-ed piece called "What If TMZ Was Wrong?" Because L.A. Times was the first official respected news source to quote, you know, to actually give the time of death and confirm it and report that Michael Jackson was dead.
Right.
But there's an asterisk that appears next to that every time it gets brought up, somebody always says, yeah, but TMZ reported it an hour before you did.
But what if TMZ murdered Michael Jackson? Well, I'm just saying it was a slow news week.
You know, I've seen that show, and like, those people sitting around in that room spitballing ideas. It wouldn't surprise me if they were spitballing, hey, I've got an idea.
Why don't we just start killing the celebrities? Let's try David Carradine first, see what happens.
Like one guy reported it, and it was like, Michael Jackson's dead, and they came back and like, oh, Michael Jackson's breathing again. The guy in the room was like,
I'm not dead.
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not losing my job.
I feel happy.
Be quiet, Michael. You'll be stone dead in a minute.
But the thing is, it's created a weird resurgence of popularity. Like, as much as people are making the jokes, you've got some people who are screaming, you know, it's good he's dead, and a lot of people are giving them grief. I was on Napster last night looking at the top 100 songs, and 50 of the top 100 songs on Napster being downloaded right now are all Michael Jackson.
Well, I was on iTunes, and all the songs except for like one Black Eyed Peas song is like all Michael Jackson. I mean, it's like, no, and of course there's a resurgence. I mean, Michael
that guy will do anything for a new hit single.
Man, you know, I had this, I really did feel a void. I mean, I was like, wow, you know, I'm not really surprised as much chemicals probably went through this guy's body, but I was like, damn, you know what? Michael Jackson really was my hero, and I never thought of it like that.
Oh, yeah. When I was a little kid, I mean, he was. Yes, there is some. He was older than me. Thank you very much. Before you
I'm
guys
saying,
jump in there.
When you were a little kid and he was born,
But
by little kid, you mean like in your early 40s.
he was my biggest hero. I mean, him and O.J. Simpson, believe it or not. But
wow,
You know how to call.
Picked some real winners.
Robert Blake, he was awesome.
hey man, I love Beretta.
and the guy who did the Beatles record, Spector.
Spectre, man.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Michael Jackson was like the guy that I was emulate. My dad would pull me out at parties. Hey, come on, do that Michael Jackson dance you like to do. And I was more than happy to do it. I bought every Jackson 5 thing I could. And even like when this shit got weird, it was still like I'm like, yeah, I know, but I can't. I never could just completely divorce myself from that hero worship.
Man, look, people, this is what we do. We don't mean any disrespect here because, I mean, Michael Jackson, when I throw that word genius around, I don't just throw it around. I mean, sometimes I'm saying, yeah, it's genius, and you can tell I'm just kind of being casual, but Michael Jackson, in the truest word of what I'm saying, really was a creative genius. I mean, this guy, this is why he's an inspiration to me, because he was the one that did something that nobody else did. Yeah. And he was the innovator. He was the creator.
He got away with it.
Well, see, even with something like that, man, I don't like the accusations of people saying like he was like all these people came up and saying, I'm glad you're gone, Michael Jackson, you child molester. I'm like, something. That guy, I believe that he just had a really screwed up childhood and did some stupid things with kids, like trying to regain his childhood again.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, like, nobody wants to talk about, in this land of the free. It's like, but despite these accusations, there were no convictions.
No.
And, I mean, this is like having. It's not simply like he got off like OJ, like on a technicality. This is like when he's out of town, the police, like a DA who was like on him, like Jean Valjean. And this guy comes in with his whole crew, raised his house, took everything they could, took all his computers, combed through everything, and they still couldn't find enough evidence to convict him.
But even more than that, what does it say about you as a parent if you take money from somebody and disappear and you don't say anything to even try to just keep pursuing to say this guy violated your kid? You do not put a price tag on your child like that and their safety. So I believe that this really was about money, because even if Michael Jackson did give me money to pay me off, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to give this to an organization that fights this kind of thing that you did and let people continue to know. But no, she took the money. And
that was the big mistake Jackson made in that case, was that he paid them off probably because his agent and his people were telling him, look, just do this. This is going to drag out in court. Doesn't matter whether you actually did it or not, which is this sort of thing happens all the time with celebrities. They pay somebody off just to go, look, just shut up and go away. The problem is then all of a sudden all these other parents are like, oh, what, really? Well, yeah, my kid was touched by MJ. And the kids kept saying, no, we weren't.
Right. Right. Yeah. A lot of people speaking up saying like that never happened. Nothing like that ever happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last week was just weird, though. It was one of those things where, Ed McMahon died, and I saw that, and I'm like, oh, that's sad, but that's not really unexpected.
Right.
That's not a big surprise. And then, almost practically the next day, it's like, oh, Farrah Fawcett died. Oh, that's really sad, but that's not unexpected. And then just Michael Jackson's dead, and we're like, wait, what?
Yeah. It totally was.
And then Billy Mays.
2 days later, Billy Mays, and it's like, who?
Yeah, I didn't know who Billy Mays was till he died.
Oh, no. See, I knew who Billy Mays was. I was just on the internet, and I see Billy Mays dead at 50, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with 50 years old? Everybody's just, all these celebrities are dying.
And how old are you
maybe
now,
Billy
Liam?
Mays is not technically a celebrity, but he was somebody,
You know what?
known and
I
famous.
will argue that he's a celebrity. Everybody knew him. It was reported about him.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? I'll miss that guy when he's gone. He
Once
was
I
a
saw
celebrity
the
ever
picture,
since.
I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the OxyClean guy who sold like 1 billion.
Right, yeah.
bags.
Okay, no, he was a celebrity, but you started this whole thing out by saying I respect all these people, and I just can't say that about Billy Mays. Like, I'm sure maybe he was a really nice guy, but all I know of him is that he just pitched product.
Well,
on
but he was a
commercials.
really talented pitch man.
Yeah, exactly. When you were going door to door trying to sell Amway, how many cleaning products did you sell?
None.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry, Snatch, you bring it up. I bought some of that Mighty Putty he was hawking, and that was crap. It didn't work at all. And I've met
not
other
Mighty.
people
But you
who
bought
it. I met other people who bought it. It didn't work.
Somebody made the comment, it's like, oh, great, he's gone. Now he's going to sell me shit that doesn't work.
and we already know his name.
Wait a minute, what's that?
The blonde guy with slap chop and
Oh,
Vince. Vince is the guy.
the
What's his name?
ShamWow guy.
Yeah, ShamWow Vince.
So Billy Mays did
Hi,
the
Vince from
ShamWow?
ShamWow.
No,
that
he
was
did
Vince.
OxyClean.
Okay, he did OxyClean.
What's his last name? Vince.
I don't. I don't care. He's the guy that wants to sell me a slap chop.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now he's
Slap-
looking paranoid.
You
Yeah.
will love my nuts.
Somebody actually they confused those guys. That guy Vince, I think it's Foreman or something like that. Forgot his name, but anyway, they confused that guy with Billy Mays. They're like, "Oh, that guy that got beat up by a prostitute is dead." And it's like, no, he just wishes he was dead because that guy's very much alive.
You can't really call him beat up by a prostitute because that's an odd story where they showed the picture of him and they showed the picture of the prostitute and it's like, wow, he got his ass whooped. It's like, no, that's a file photo of the girl. The photo came up the next day and she was like pulped.
Oh,
he
Jesus.
like beat the shit out of her. Like that's what happened to him when she was fighting back.
Okay, well they're not the same guy, you know. Like I don't think Billy Mays ever beat up a prostitute real bad.
We really
unless
hate
that comes out,
TMZ, can't you tell?
no, unless it comes out like David Carradine in the panties and all that kind of stuff, you know. But
Which was then proven that he did not commit suicide.
oh, it was.
Yeah, it was.
You
He
didn't
was
see that,
fighting
but
the ninja assassins. And
No, they did an autopsy here in the States, and he didn't die of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they're looking into it and they're doing criminal investigations, but they're doing it very quietly. But yeah, they put out the thing that he didn't die of that.
Damn, that's a
So
sadistic.
it might really be an underground ninja
Dude,
game.
that would be the most awesome thing
That
ever.
would be.
That he was killed by ninjas. Killed by ninjas would be the way I want to see David Carradine really go.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not
Because
not
so
ninjas,
much better than dying with your dick in your
but
hand.
not ninjas that dress you up like a woman and tie your dick up and then leave the room.
Well, no,
Yes, I want the cool ninjas.
because no one suspected ninjas.
That's true. That's how do you do it today? It's a celebrity. You got to kill him. You got to, gotta make it where it's so embarrassing. No one's even looking at any
Because
other
everybody-
alternatives.
Everybody wants. I mean, the fact that
Dude, it
Michael
was
Jackson
ninjas.
died of cardiac arrest. There were people who had to be disappointed that there wasn't something seedier going on.
Right.
People are looking for the seediness.
Well, there
in
is
it.
a little
And it's
bit.
like, oh, it just looks like it's an old man who wanted to come back and had a lot of pain and has done too many surgeries and took a little heavier dose of pain medication than he should have.
Well, Michael Jackson's doctor has disappeared, and they're saying that he may have actually given him by accident a lethal dose of Demerol, and that's what caused the cardiac arrest. So it's not, scandalous on Michael Jackson's part,
No.
but it certainly is
If you
adds
were
some seediness to the story.
Yeah, if you were the guy that killed Michael Jackson,
You're
you
dead.
You better build a rocket to
and there's
Mars.
no place
Yeah.
you can go
You
because
can't
he
go to
was
prison.
an international sensation.
That's why I'm saying you better build a rocket to Mars.
It was funny because listening on Sirius Radio, they have a Michael Jackson channel. You know what? Michael Jackson was credited for breaking the color barrier on MTV. Like they never showed only white people's videos
But
until his.
I don't want to get into. And at this point, we talked about all the insidious shit with these.
No.
people
But
and
I'm
shit,
saying
you know,
like that just happened with Sirius Radio, where they've had like channels dedicated, but only to Elvis, Led Zeppelin, the Bruce Springsteen, AC/DC, and the Who. Michael Jackson's the first black person whose music, actually non-white guy, heavy metal or classic rock, who they've dedicated a channel
Well, to be fair, the artist formerly known as Black.
That's
Okay.
Oh, come on. I never even go out in the sun, and he was whiter than I was when he died. And maybe it was some weird skin disease, as he said, but looked a lot like plastic surgery to me.
No. He had it bleached, but the condition he had, I'd read about that like 10 years or more before he had it. Not that he had it, but it is vitiligo where you start to lose pigment in your skin.
Yeah, they actually sell products and like. Don't laugh now. It's serious. Like in Ebony magazine, they sell cover up.
Ebony
for,
was
like,
where I read the story.
Yeah, well, they sell cover up because they show the people with. I'm not even trying to make a joke. They look like cows.
fair
they
enough.
got cow patterns.
Well,
and
I'm not
makeup.
actually trying to criticize Michael Jackson. I mean, I will say that it's clear he had some very deep psychological troubles. I don't think he abused children. I really, really strongly don't feel like he did that. But he was really troubled guy.
Oh,
he was also a
clearly.
musical genius. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not even the world's biggest fan of Michael Jackson, and I'm not an idiot. I can listen to his stuff and see when it came out and go, damn, this guy was on point.
Yeah.
What he was doing.
No,
He was the first artist to be able to sell tickets to his music video.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being
Captain
a kid
EO.
and being at the state fair, and they had a booth set up where you could go in and watch all 15 minutes of Thriller.
Damn.
Oh,
And,
no,
and it cost $1, which in the early '80s was like,
Yeah.
wow, it's $1 to go in and see that thing. And I went in and saw Thriller, and I was really excited.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I think that's one of the, if not the first video that was actually in that format, where it started out kind of as a mini movie and then
Yeah.
worked
Yeah.
its way up into the song. He got a mainstream director to come in and do it, John Landis, and everybody's like, wow, this video is an event.
I think it was the first music video that was sold on videotape too. That
Was
they
it?
actually
I was
released
wondering
for
that.
sale. 'Cause I remember
it
we
was long
owned
enough.
that. We bought that the day
It was
came
long enough,
out.
and
Yeah.
it came with the making of.
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
with George Romero filmed it, didn't he?
No,
Was
no.
it, who was it? Who filmed it?
John
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 Landis.
Landis. Okay, yeah.
John Landis
so it's
and
like a real
cameo by Vincent Price.
Yeah,
I mean,
real
That was
horror.
one of those funny little things was that Michael Jackson hired him because he thought he was a horror director. Because he'd seen
What, American Werewolf in
American
London?
Werewolf
Yeah.
in London, and he was this hot horror director, and he wanted a horror director to make it. And he's like, "What? Did you never see Animal House or anybody other, or Blues Brothers?" And he was like, "No, I haven't."
Well, hey, however it happened, it was a genius pairing right there. I mean, that is one of the most incredible things he did. I'll be the first to tell you that. And you might, Leon, you might actually jump on me about this. I think he became sort of a parody of himself later on in life because he just kind of kept doing the same thing. I'm really, I mean, it got to a point where.
Oh no, I do agree with that with the videos and especially with the live performances. That
Yeah.
it used to bother me when he would come on award shows and do like really bloated kind of productions, and they'd be all right, but the audience would give him a standing ovation. And I'm like, and this is more tribute than
And you know
anything.
what? He was doing those when it wasn't even spelled anymore because other people were doing bloated productions. MC Hammer did that $1 million video a minute or something like that, and it was enough, even if it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, true.
But man, I have to say, now that he's gone, I actually sat down one night and I was really sad for a moment. I was like, wow, man, that really one of my childhood heroes
Yeah,
is
I had
gone.
the same feeling too.
I had a weird transcendent kind of thing happen the night he died. I had gone to the gym, and I'm working out on the ski machine and the elliptical, and I'm about 25 minutes in on this thing, and I'm getting that fatigue, and my mind is just starting to go. And I'm VH1 was showing all of his videos, and so I'm listening to Michael Jackson and working out, and then Leave Me Alone comes on. And you remember that one.
That's your theme song anyway, and then leave me alone.
That was a disturbing video.
But
for that,
it is.
too.
But the thing is it comes on, and the two TVs flanking are news channels, and they're both running this very late night tabloidy look at Michael Jackson. And so I'm listening to Leave Me Alone while I've got these TVs in front of me showing the history of his life in tabloids. And it was this weird kind of, dude, this guy really kind of got a raw deal in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, here we are, he dies, and we couldn't get through it without making 12 or 13 jokes.
He probably never had a moment he could remember in his life when he wasn't enormously famous. From being a very little kid, he was incredibly famous right from the get-go. I mean,
yeah.
what is that going to do to a person?
And he was, and it's a shame too because when the storyboard pushed him, it's sad because for one thing you want to think, wow, that is great that he was pushed, that he was that incredible. Look up Dancing Machine, the video for that. That kid is amazing. You're looking at that, it's like that kid is what, 12, 11? That's incredible. And then you got to realize, oh yeah, his dad was beating the shit out of him, probably making him do that.
I mean, he had one of those hard ghetto fathers, and him being the youngest or near the youngest, like the older brothers, they were just used to it. I mean, the more I read about his dad, it sounds like, well, he's a lot like my dad, maybe a little bit meaner.
He said your dad didn't make you talented.
Somebody actually made a comment when Twitter was going nuts with all the stuff. Someone's like, "Nope, he's not dead yet," and somebody's like, "How do you know?" Because we haven't seen Jermaine yet.
Oh yeah,
That's
true.
And sure enough, who was the first one to walk out?
Jermaine is like,
Jermaine.
not me. Yeah, not me. By the way, when you said you were exercising, that fatigue came in, and you don't know if you could go in him, I thought you were going to say Michael Jackson came to you and said, keep going, Carlisle.
No, it was one of those things where with that workout fatigue going on, I kind of had this weird kind of connection to where it's like, wow, I can kind of in a weird haze see what this guy was having to deal with that I'd always kind of joked about. And it was kind of just a weird moment to be listening to that song and watching that unfold on all the news channels.
Yeah. No, I'm not one of those types. I always say this. When somebody dies, I say, you know what, I didn't know that person, so I'm not going to go crazy and go crying and all this kind of stuff. But Michael Jackson's probably the closest thing I came to being like, wow, I really am going to miss this person. And I feel bad, and I shouldn't feel that way, but I feel really terrible for not appreciating him at the moment when he died, because I had made only in death do you think back and you're like, damn, that guy was a badass, man.
And now that you mention it, I think Farrah Fawcett was pretty great too.
No, I was going to say, you know something? Before we get out of here, we should talk about Farrah Fawcett real quick, man.
Boy, you talk about a death getting totally eclipsed. I mean,
Yeah, Farrah Fawcett looking down, she's like, God damn it! And God's like, hey, watch your mouth. But did you see what happened?
he totally stepped over my dad.
I just everything I've ever seen with her, I kind of want to think that she's up there going, well, at least they didn't go alone. They
Yeah,
say
yeah.
go alone.
Or maybe Michael Jackson walking behind her. Hey, will you go away? Damn it.
Well, hey, there were no. Has anyone heard a Farrah Fawcett joke?
I have heard a Farrah Fawcett joke.
Have you really?
No, since we're telling the joke, I'm going to put one out that I heard. This is not against Farrah Fawcett. I probably even shouldn't promote this because when we did our Let's Do This, I did not tell any kind of joke at all. You know what? No, I'm not going to do it, man. It's disrespectful. It's not.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. I don't even
See,
know why I
and
even brought that up.
But that's Farrah Fawcett's legacy. We can't, because in the end, she was a really nice lady.
No, she was kind of nutty on the web.
kinda nutty.
It was pretty
She's
nutty.
yeah.
But you gotta wonder,
but
was it because of
nutty
treatment or
nice.
something?
She was,
Well, she was taking a lot of pharmaceuticals for pain, apparently, at one point, and it
She
made her
was sick
pretty
for a
goofy.
long time.
Yeah.
When she went on famous appearance on Letterman.
David Letterman, and I wonder now, I'm like, because we all laughed at it and everything, but I'm wondering, wow, was she on something at the time? I'm not also like, was she fucking up? Or,
Yeah.
no,
Was it
like,
one
was
of
she
those-
on
It's getting
pain
to where we
medication?
can't laugh at anybody anymore because you always find out a story later. You go like, oh man.
Well, you know what's funny though is like we're always like, oh, they're dead. We can't laugh at them. It's like really because I don't think they're gonna mind at this point. It's only when they're alive and we're laughing at them that we're kind of dead.
But it's the circumstances. I mean, when you go out and you're old, like when Ed McMahon died, we didn't like. We weren't sitting up there making fun of him, but we laughed through the whole thing because it was like Ed McMahon lived a good life, and he died of at a reasonably good age for that.
Well,
kind
yeah,
of
he
thing.
was. Yeah, I mean, he
was
I don't know if he
the-
led a good life, but he made lots of money.
he's the original co-host.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, when you think about it, he didn't really.
One easy.
One easy- yeah.
See, that's how he went out.
See, yeah, no, and those are the kind of jokes we were making. I mean, it was kind of like a mild roast for a guy who lived a good life. When he had money problems, like we always said, a celebrity, when they say I'm broke, they always manage to pull that extra million out their ass somewhere. And they're like, but I still got a little bit of money, you know.
Well, I saw MC Hammer when he was on Oprah, and they were like, "So you're broke now?" And he's like, "Wait a minute, let me just stop you right there. I'm broke like a celebrity's broke. I'm not broke like a normal person.
Yeah.
So don't feel sorry
that
for
was,
me."
That was where I gained a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
Because he just came out and he said, yeah, no, my family's taken care of. We've got money. I just don't have $33 million anymore.
Yeah, shit, you know, I got 10, but that's chump change.
I do respect
Fuck
when he
you.
came out with that television commercial where he's like doing the MC Hammer, and then it's like 1 year
15
later,
minutes later.
15
Minutes
minutes
later,
later,
yeah. Minutes
and they're
later,
taking
yeah.
all the stuff out of the house.
But no, Ed McMahon, man, we didn't mind laughing a little bit and joking around with Ed McMahon. Looking at Farrah Fawcett on TV and knowing that, and didn't she have rectal cancer?
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing. 'cause
That
we
was something I never needed to know.
Well, you didn't know that?
You
Yeah.
didn't
I
know
knew
that?
she had cancer, and that's all I needed to know.
No,
Where it
you-
was.
No, you needed to know because that lets you know how sad that
No.
situation was, man.
That-
I mean,
her ass wasn't as nice as I thought it was. Apparently, it's kind of a mean ass for that matter.
see, nobody's here laughing.
See,
man.
you can joke about everybody else, but not Farrah
We
Fawcett.
try to have
What is
fun.
that?
You just
Man, you saw the pictures
man.
of Farrah Fawcett when she went out. It was really sad. I mean, to hear her like even there were points where she was confessing like I know I'm gonna die and I'm dying in this horrible way, and then to see her make this transition where she's like, well, I've accepted everything. To see anybody have to make that decision is terrible and kind of beautiful to see them like say, hey, you know what? I've come to peace with this. And yeah, Farrah Fawcett is probably out of this whole group of people probably the bravest one who had to go out.
She did have the most famous cheesecake poster probably of all
Well,
time.
and that happens to be the
most successful.
That happens to be the second most well-known trivia question of all time. I was about to mention that. Only behind what was the first video that played on MTV.
Oh, right. Yeah.
right.
Which was Video Killed the Radio Star?
Yeah.
The best, most well-known trivia question of all time.
Which it actually
her
did go
poster
on to
was
do.
the best-selling poster of all time.
Really? So the
Yeah.
two questions right there, huh? I don't know, man. I want to bring up something. Do you think all these people, except for maybe David Carradine, not David Carradine, but Billy Mays, do you think that they were all connected through Ed McMahon? I'm not even making a joke. Like,
What, like
they,
6
Well,
degrees of separation?
well, because they were all on the Tonight Show at some point when Johnny Carson was
Well,
doing it.
also,
everyone
Ed
was.
McMahon has probably sent them envelopes telling them they might be a winner in the Clemson
Damn it, I already got $1 million, man.
in
Quit
which
sending me
case-
this
And Michael
I'm
Jackson's
next.
like, I already have a winner.
shit. Michael Jackson. I mean, Ed McMahon's at the door. Hey, I got a check, and it's like, don't let him in. I know y'all are home. Can I come in for coffee? Can I use your bathroom? No, man. But no, man, all these people, I mean, even no matter how they went out, like I said, if you really want to get down to it, I think Billy Mays probably went out the cleanest, and no OxyClean joke there either. I mean, I see you smiling, man. I did not mean that.
Yes,
Okay,
you
man, I
did.
did not. I did. I swear I
well,
did
to
not.
be fair, that stuff didn't really clean all that well. I
So yeah, I would have been wrong
I mean,
anyway.
it was basically you mixing soap with mineral water.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you could have made this shit at home. It's lemon juice and water.
See, the oxygen gives it extra cleaning power. Really? As opposed to the oxygen that we're surrounded by?
Yeah.
Shut up, Leon.
It's kind of like selling solar-powered clothes dryers. You get a box of wine.
Yeah, but no, all these guys, man. I mean, at some point or another, they did. We wouldn't be talking about them if they didn't do something great and touch our lives in some kind of way. Egg McMahon
Sold us some crap.
I sold us some. Hey, like I said, it was some kind of way. I never bought that shit, by the way. So I ain't mad at you, man.
There's part of me that thinks that Billy Mays may have become a born again Christian, and and they came to him and said, "Look, we're offering you eternal salvation." He's like, "Well, what if I order in the next 10 minutes?"
That sounds great.
Yeah.
But let me show you this.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. But anyway,
My
we,
salvation comes with a jade elephant pendant.
And a sports watch shaped like a shoe.
Yeah, or football.
it makes you think, man, with all these celebrities, I know some people had to go, but like Farrah Fawcett, Michael Jackson, even to a certain extent, Billy Mays and David Carradine. I mean, how come God ain't taking assholes, man? Please don't do anything, Farrah. Say,
Hey,
don't Farrah Fawcett joke out. Oh, man.
I was
you
gonna say,
did-
man,
no,
you're still sitting here. We couldn't do this podcast.
Oh, no, man, I'm thinking some, like the.
That's not for whom the bell tolls.